Dear students, welcome to EPG Pachala. I am Dr. A. Vijay Chitra, Assistant Professor, Department of Microbiology, Sri Narayana Guru College, Coimbatore. Today, we are going to see the module on implications of intellectual property rights on commercialization of biotechnology products. Before going in detail into the aspects of the module, first let us see what is intellectual property right. According to WIPO, that is the World Intellectual Property Organization, intellectual property, it refers to creations of the mind, inventions, literary and artistic works, and symbols, names and images for ultimate use in commerce. Intellectual property rights are statutory rights. Once granted, it allows the creators or owners of the intellectual property to exclude others from exploiting the same commercially for a given period of time. It allows the creators or the owners to have the benefits from their work when these are exploited commercially. The role of intellectual property right in biotechnology sector is increasing at a rapid pace. The intellectual property commercialization is a key factor when the technology is to be transferred from the lab to the business sector. Now students will see what is commercialization. Commercialization is the process of bringing intellectual property to the market in order for it to be exploited in return of business profits and growth. This biotechnology and IPR, if you see, it has two main systems of protection for biotechnology. One is rights in plant varieties and another one is patents. Biotechnology, it mainly focuses its research on three segments. They include the industrial sector, healthcare sector and agriculture sector. The intellectual property created by biotechnology firms can take up a different forms consisting of vaccines, seeds, plants, medical devices and software, but also brands and domain names among others. Most of these different assets may attract more than one form of intellectual property protection. In the biotechnology sector, the most relevant form of intellectual property are the patents. But there is an increasing concern in patenting living forms and hereditary material. Commercialization of biotechnology and its products have been accepted by public with mixed concern. The patent laws regarding biotechnology products commercialization give more importance to ethical considerations. There are three international intellectual property treaties which are of particular importance for the protection of biotechnology. That is one being the Paris Convention for the Protection of Industrial Property. Next is the Budapest Treaty of the International Recognition of the Deposit of Microorganisms for the purpose of patent procedure, called as the Deposit Treaty, and the Patent Cooperation Treaty. But whenever biotechnology products had to be patented, there are certain restrictions in patenting some biotechnological products. Life forms such as microorganisms, plants and animals are not patentable in India under the provisions Indian Patent Act. However, patent can be obtained for various biotechnological processes and product applications within the scope of international conventions. Microorganisms isolated from nature or are obtained by simple manipulations are not patentable. But microorganisms which are obtained or which are created by novel techniques like genetic engineering are patentable. The first patent of the GMO, that is called as the genetically modified organism, was allowed by United States Supreme Court in 1980 as it is described in the utility patent. It is for the maize plant which overproduces tryptophan amino acid and it was patented in 1985. This was the beginning of patenting of high organisms for patenting. And for animals, a patent was granted in 1988 for Oncomouse, genetically modified mouse. But the patenting of the entire human body in all its developmental phases is not at all allowed. And also, the process which will modify the germline genetic identity of human beings cannot be patented. And also, the use of human embryos for industrial purpose or commercial purpose is also not acceptable. Coming to what can be patented, or what are the things that can be patented involves the gene and nucleic acid molecules can be patented, the cells can be patented, proteins and enzymes can be patented, antibodies, microorganisms, virus and virus sequences can be patented, transgenic animals and transgenic plants can be patented. What cannot be patented involves the human embryos. The human embryos patenting is not at all permitted. As well, the human germ cells, they can also be not patented. The process which involves the use and destruction of embryo also cannot be patented. Plants and animals without any gene modification cannot be patented. So these are the things that we have to consider before we go for the commercialization process. First, we have to know what can be patented and what cannot be patented. So these are the things that we have to consider before we go for the commercialization process. First, we have to know what can be patented and what cannot be patented. And next, coming to while we go for commercialization, what are the things that we have to take into consideration? The first and foremost is the ownership of the intellectual property. Does the organization own the IP? That we have to first check it out. And if the IP is a single one or it is a joint owners, the IP they have a joint owners. So whenever we go for commercialization, we have to check out the who organizes or who owns the IP, and whether there is a single owner or a joint owner. And also we have to see that whether the organization have the rights to commercialize the intellectual property, and also we have to check out whether there are any contracts relating to the intellectual property, so that it restricts the organization's rights to commercialize that particular product. Next, coming to, we have to check out the nature of IP. So ownership of IP has to be checked out. Next, we have to check out for the nature of IP. We have to go out with whether the IP rights is valid. If it is valid, what is the strength of the intellectual property, and what is the remaining intellectual property life? Whether the intellectual property is formally protected. And also we have to check out that whether the particular intellectual property asset requires further development, and what will be the estimated commercial life of the intellectual property. This is the second thing that you have to see. And the third one is that we have to see to that at what stage of development the particular product is. So sometimes the product would have given a result and it may be at a developmental stage. So when it is at a developmental stage or further research has to go on, we cannot go for commercialization because the product has to develop, or we have to find out whether the particular product is ready for commercialization. This is the third thing we have to check it. The final success of any intellectual property commercialization will depend on which particular or appropriate commercial tool we are using, and this commercial tool should be normally based on the organization's business objectives, the form of intellectual property, whether it is a patent, it is a trademark or trade design, something like that, and the economic resources at its disposal. So these things have to be checked out for financial thing. Next, coming to the intellectual property commercialization structures. So whenever there is a commercialization idea, there are different types of methods or different procedures for commercialization. One being the direct exploitation by owner. Then we have a thing called as license, where the product can be licensed. Third one is the assignment. Fourth one is the spin-off company, and the fifth one is the joint venture. What is direct exploitation? An organization may choose to commercialize its intellectual property assets by developing and supplying goods or services based on the intellectual property on its own, rather than by leveraging the IP by provision to some external party. For the biotechnology sector, commercialization of intellectual property may require additional research and development, product development, clinical trials, and also development of techniques to scale up production prior to taking the results of the research to the market. Mostly, the organization itself does not have the resources to commercialize the IP. It means that the particular person who owns the IP sometimes cannot go for the commercialization process. It is because he or she they require sufficient funds, and it is going to be a full investment. Next, coming to licensing. What is licensing? Licensing, it's a powerful way of allowing a third party to utilize intellectual property without them taking ownership. An IP license, it grants another entity the right to access and use the IP for a certain time period, where such access or use would otherwise it will infringe the rights of the IP owner. A license is one of the most common forms of IP commercialization, as it is a very flexible option which allows the expectation of both parties to be accommodated. Importantly, a license does not permanently transfer the ownership of intellectual property or the rights which are attached to that particular intellectual property. A license, we can say, it's a permission for a person to do something, and without the license, if that particular person does, we call that as an infringement of the intellectual property. The person granting the license is called as the licensor, and the person receiving the license is called as licensee. And we have different types of licenses. So one among the exclusive license. So in exclusive license, only one company can license the invention, but it can separate into different fields, territories, and other things. And what may be the benefit of this is that they can charge higher royalty rate, less competition, and also more incentive to develop the product for the market. The second type of license is the non-exclusive license, which allows more than one company to use the technology. The benefits of a broad spectrum, like it can be a research tool or a one which have many fields of use, so that many of them will be using it or everyone uses it. And third type of license is called as the sole license. It is a single license, and the IP owner has the right to use the intellectual property. A non-exclusive license is arguably the most common type of license used within academics. Next, coming to the next one, that is called as assignment. A particular IP can also be given an assignment. So assignment is totally different from that of a license. An IP assignment, it is a permanent transfer of the ownership of the IP asset to another entity, and it is usually assigned in return for financial consideration in the form of a lump sum payment. or you can say assignment is another form of commercializing. If you assign your IP to another party, you are selling it. Therefore, unlike licensing, when you assign IP, you will lose all ownership rights. If you continue to use the IP once you have assigned it, then it will be infringing on the new owner's rights. The next type of commercializing is called as the spin-off. A spin-off company is a separate company which is established by an organization for the purposes of undertaking a particular activity, such as the commercialization of a specific IP asset. The spin-offs, they are also known as the spin-outs. They are the separate legal entities which are created by parent organization to exploit its IP assets. Once the particular company is established, the parent organization will assign or license the IP concerned to spin off to commercialize it. So spin-off is normally considered as a common commercialization practice in universities and research organizations in order for them to exploit and maximize the economic benefits of the knowledge created. Spin-off companies, they are also created using intellectual property. So this can be ranging from the know-how to patents. Basically, when the intellectual property has been sufficiently protected, the owner can use it as a basis to form a company. However, creating a spin-out company, it can be really a time-consuming process, and also it will be a financially draining one. Many who have created a spin-out, they have found out that they have gone for a detriment of their career because of more time spending and also financially spent amount. Able to apply for research or publishing, the spin-out will mostly consume their time. And the last one being the joint venture. It is also another type of commercialization. A joint venture is a collaboration of two or more parties to undertake a common project or to pursue a specific objective, such as commercializing. All parties to the joint venture, they will contribute to their efforts, thereby the personal financial resources or the existing intellectual property towards the joint venture project will be financially satisfied. So in joint venture, you have two types. One is unincorporated joint venture, another one is incorporated joint venture. Unincorporated joint venture includes, it's a joint venture which can be set up simply by the parties entering into a contractual arrangement setting out their rights and obligations in relation to the project. Incorporated joint venture involves the parties may decide to set up a separate jointly owned company to carry out the planned activities. So these are the different forms or the different ways by which a particular biotechnology product can be commercialized. So what are the risks that an intellectual property commercialization will involve? So each and every risk that comes into account in IP commercialization should be counted. Although the nature of risk, it will depend upon the type of commercialization and its arrangement, their preventive identification, assessment and management would give the organization a lower exposure to risk. The IP risks, which are very specific to commercialization activities, are maximum related to the type of IP or the nature of the IP, the confidentiality. So which means that whenever a particular IP goes for confidentiality, that is commercialization, the confidentiality of the particular IP should be protected. So if it is a joint venture, there will be some problem, or if it goes from to a spin-off company, the workers they may have some access to it. So this is one of the risks that happens in commercialization. And third one is the nature of the product or the service. So what type of product they are going to service, they are going to commercialize, or what is the type of service they are going to provide. And legal issues, the business reputation. An assessment of the risk, it can be based on the likelihood of the event occurrence. For example, the ownership disputes, third party infringement, and the associated consequences, or it can be irrelevant or it can be moderate or important. So built on the following outcomes, the organizations will be able to make adequate decisions about the risk management actions to be adopted. How you commercialize your IP, that is the commercialization, it depends upon which type of IP, whether it is a trademark or if it is a patent or something, depending upon that. So it also depends on the circumstances, the business capabilities, and understanding of the market, and the ability that we have to generate the finance. But normally licensing, it is the most common commercialization method. So but we have more options also for taking up the intellectual property to the marketplace. So whenever we go for the commercialization, we have to first know that whether we want and commercialize it in-house, or we want to go along with another person who may be called as a partner. And also we have to know that whether you want to manufacture the product or market the product, or you want to sell the product, and whether you want to outsource somewhere. So these are all the different things or issues which we have to consider while commercializing it to the world market. So whenever we go for commercialization, we have to first decide, or first we have to check out whether we are going it with in-house or partner. Though it is an in-house or with another partner, we have to be aware of two very, very important things or commercialization traps. One is we have to maintain the confidentiality about the intellectual property. If the confidentiality of the intellectual property is lost, then commercialization will be a failure. So the confidentiality should be maintained. And the ownership, so failing to secure ownership of the intellectual property also is one of a trap by which the particular commercialization will result in a loss. Now coming into what are the key concepts. So just I'll sum up what are the key concepts in commercialization. So commercialization means it's a process of getting your intellectual property to market. The particular product, it can be commercialized on own, through a partnership, or a combination of the two. And when it is going for commercialization internationally, different issues will arise depending upon the country. And we have to make sure that what is the type of commercialization we go for, and we have to maintain all the confidentiality arrangements with all the parties, right from the workers to the partners. And we have a number of options also when we are commercializing with partners. And in licensing, the owner must give the right to commercialize, but need not give the ownership of the intellectual property itself. In exclusive license, if you see, they are the most common commercialization mechanisms used. And also we have a number of shades of exclusive, like the product, the field, the territory, the restrictions. So these are there, and we have to check out where and when, how we are going to do it. And license include trademark licenses and franchises also. And we have to know that assignment is not licensing. It just involves the transferring or selling the intellectual property to the owner, and so the person who owns the intellectual property will have the rights to retain it. And the other mechanisms for commercializing intellectual property are a startup company, which involves a venture capitalist, or a joint venture with other parties or established companies. And also we have to keep into consideration the royalties, they are payments which are associated with licenses, and they can be calculated in a number of ways. So these are the very key or important aspects of commercialization. Coming to the legal aspects which have to be considered, during this commercialization process. We go for commercialization, we have to strictly comply with all legal issues. The first and foremost one is that signing of non-disclosure agreement with potential buyers or licensee, or a confidentiality agreement in place, and there should be an intense dialogue between the persons with whom we are going to work. Or we can also sign MOU term sheets prior to the actual agreement, and we can get key terms agreed to it. So before signing any type of agreements, first we have to see that whether this goes along with all the legal points and also with legal aspects. So students, we have seen today how to commercialize the particular product. So we have also seen what are the different procedures that are available to commercialize a biotechnology product. A biotechnology product before commercialization has to undergo a vast series of steps. Not only steps, we have to go for analysis, and we have to check out that whether this particular product is a patentable or non-patentable one. Only if the product is a patentable one, then we can go for commercialization. So with this, let me conclude the session on implications of intellectual property rights on commercialization of biotechnology products.